Why, hello there.
Holla.
Welcome to the
What's
Dumbfounded
up?
Dipshits Podcast. We are, again, not on a Wednesday at 9, unfortunately. It's the Thursday, but I mean, shit happens.
Yeah, life, work schedules. Welcome back, dipshits. But we're a day late, but we're not a dollar short.
It's my first time smoking.
Oh, first of the day? No way. Wow.
First after work, not of the day.
Okay, yeah. It is a different smoke though. It's a different smoke. Like maintenance smokes at work are different than like that end of the day dab. But yeah, I guess let's consider, since we're doing two pods close together, we'll consider this like a part two to Sunday, because we did get into the mass shooter thing and how like, wow, there were two, and then there was a third one while we were casting, I think, that happened in Buffalo, and this guy fucking live streamed it. This psycho.
Was Buffalo first? I think Buffalo was first.
No, I thought the one in California happened, and then the one in Texas happened like almost right after or at the same time or some shit like that. And then the one in Buffalo happened that night on Sunday. So, it's what it's showing us is all these people that are doing this shit. Like, okay, you could profile them, I think, and you could profile a mass shooter, and you can sort of see it coming, because apparently there are patterns. But what is not a pattern is that they're pretty inclusive. If you look through history, like a lot of people like to pigeonhole like your incel teenage white kid, white male that are the ones doing this, like the Columbine.
That happened once, technically. That's happened once. But
you get the train platform shooter was a black guy. The guy in California was an Asian gentleman that barricaded the doors and shot the people in the church. This one that just happened in Buffalo was totally racially motivated. So it wasn't students. This guy went after innocent people in a grocery store. And not filmed it, but he went live
streamed
so
it on Twitch.
All the evidence is there. All of the evidence is there.
I made the mistake, the very big mistake, the very, very, very big mistake of watching the video.
Oh, yeah,
I found it on Twitter, and I decided to watch it. And
what up, honey?
For like the whole day, I was just not in the right mindset. The whole day, like I can't
watch too many things like that. Like I watched because whatever, we watch safety videos at work, right? So you watch fails, like, because they make you watch some of these things. So I watched this guy get ejected from a basket.
The shooting video, Jonathan, the video of the Buffalo shooter at the grocery store. It's available if you dig on Twitter, and I highly suggest nobody watches it.
Yeah, don't watch it, because I've had to watch accident videos and watch guys like die on the job and stuff like that, and I don't feel normal. So I think he killed 10 people, right, and injured three others.
Yeah, originally it was 7, but I think a few died in the hospital.
Yeah, 10. Yeah. Yeah, and he did somebody in the fucking parking lot, right?
More than one person. That like the first 10 seconds of the video, just not even 10 seconds, the first 4 seconds just got to me already. Because he pulls up, gets out of the car, and the first person he shoots is a lady with her groceries, just walking into her car, mind her own fucking business.
Wow.
Guns her down. See, if two gang members shoot each other and kill each other, I don't give a shit. No one else got hurt.
That's a little bit of a different story.
No one else got hurt.
What you're worried about with that is innocent bystanders.
Exactly. This guy went after innocent bystanders.
Yeah, he went after.
Yes, yeah. These people were just grocery shopping in your store, mind your own business, and all of a sudden.
Elderly too. There were elderly victims as well. Like they weren't
And I love how people make everything political. They're like, oh, we all talk about the good guy with the gun. Where was the good guy with the gun? Well, apparently not there, obviously. And guess what? Yeah. If he was there, they might put the psychopath down.
I think one of the guys who was killed was a security guard. Who was a former policeman, but I don't know. I heard he was trying to shield people or save somebody and died in the process and got shot at himself. But I don't know if he was strapped or not. You know what I mean? I don't know if he was strapped or not.
If he was strapped, he should have.
Somebody was shooting back. No, I heard somebody was shooting back, and the kid had body armor on.
See, I didn't see that in the video, but it's not what I watched is not the full video.
Oh. Okay.
But like,
Yeah. This is what I'm, like just completely haunted by of this. It's not so. Yeah, it might be a gun. Yeah, a supermarket might be a gun-free zone. But, some people, I don't know, I don't know what the laws are in Buffalo actually for concealed carry. I know in New York State, like if it's for your job, like if you are a corrections officer or you work for like Briggs Security, or if you work for like
New York
even
State,
certain private security, you can carry.
Well, New York State you can carry.
Yeah.
You get a pistol permit, and it's not as hard in the city as it is in the city than it is in the state.
Right.
I mean, in the New York State, anyone could walk into a rifle store and buy a rifle if you have a New York State ID and you don't live in a city.
Yeah.
I don't think his gun was legal anyway, because in New York, I think you're only allowed 10 rounds, and he had way more than 10 rounds in his rifle.
Yeah, he might have had illegal magazines and stuff like that.
But as we know,
illegal in New York State.
Laws don't make it disappear.
You're gonna get it. Like, listen, if okay, because he was using pistols, I guess, right?
It was a rifle.
Oh, it was a rifle.
It looked like an AR.
Who was it? Then maybe it was the church shooter. Came in with 2 9mm pistols and shot the people in the church.
He John Wick the church?
No, I think so. Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So wrong and dark.
It's so wrong. Said. He barricaded the door too. This is the thing. Like, obviously, the church shooter and the supermarket shooter are from two totally, different demographics of people. You know what I mean? This guy was a racially charged racist psycho who shot up the supermarket. The guy in California, I think, had a bone to pick with the church. It was like how like they have like they're like Lutheran churches, but they're like Korean Lutheran churches. This was like a Taiwanese Presbyterian church or something like that. So most of the congregation were like maybe second generation Taiwanese immigrant or just came off the boat from Taiwan, and they were in the church, and he might have been a former congregant, I think, and he went in and he chained up the doors, or not chained them up, but prevented them from being able to push the emergency doors. He did like a Inglourious Bastards. You remember the last scene? And he shot them with pistols. But like my point that I was saying about the pistols, even if you make pistols illegal, somebody will illegally get them. Like this guy had extended magazines in a state where you weren't allowed to have them. He got them anyway. You know what I mean? Like making that like the argument could be like what Yoni was saying, right? That was a gun-free zone. Okay, I don't understand. Maybe I'm assuming that you're saying that the people who were shopping in there weren't allowed to have their carry, so that could have prevented maybe more lives from being lost. One could argue that, somebody could have shot back at him, but one could also say that might have made the situation worse.
How?
Listen, and I advocate for concealed carry. I'm not anti, but I'm just saying you got to look at it from all angles. Let's just say they weren't qualified or had proper training, just shot in a supermarket to shoot back at this guy and then struck another bystander. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they were already.
It happens with police all the time. You get police with friendly fire all the time. That shit happens too.
But in this situation, the guy was already walking around executing anyone. So if I shoot him and kill him and accidentally shoot the guy behind him, I still kind of save lives. Unfortunately, not one more innocent person was killed. But, but like my argument,
I thought they shot back at him. Like I don't know if we could look that up, but I'm pretty sure that he was shot back at and he had body armor on. So. If I'm not mistaken, I believe maybe it was that security guard, former police officer, who did it. Which even still, it validates the point that you had that, but the guy had body armor on. What is a hollow point going to do to a steel plate? It's just going to mushroom out onto it or ricochet off it. You're not going to stop the guy unless you get him with a headshot to the face. I think he even had a helmet on. I think the guy walked in like he thought he was fucking straight Call of Duty,
No, he walked
the
out of
best.
the car. He walks out of the car, brings out the AR, cocks it, just pops the first person without her even realizing what's happening. She's walking with her groceries to her car. Then he shoots the two people behind her standing by the grocery store to get in. Then he fires. He kills the guy behind the car over there as well. So that's 4 people on the outside. Then he fires 4 or 5 rounds into the glass window blindly. Then he goes inside, and the problem with this is shots are fired, so everyone in the store goes down. Like
everybody goes down.
Yeah.
So he just
ground.
started shooting.
So
people
he gets
on the
in and just starts fucking shooting people on the ground.
Wow.
Yeah, like there was a terrible movie called The Irishman.
No, wait. Did you mean that long ass
Netflix one?
Scorsese.
And there's
movie,
a scene, and the scene is when they try to kill Jimmy Hoffa.
I've seen it, but I don't remember any.
They try to kill him.
Yeah.
And the guy pulls out a gun, and they tackle the guy down and get the gun.
Yeah.
And then he says something. He goes, "This is what he says." He goes, "There's a rule. Basically, it's when they have a gun, you have to get close to them to get the gun away.
Yeah.
When they have a knife, you have to run away."
Yeah, because you're gonna get with the knives. It's almost inevitable if you try to fight somebody back with a knife, you're getting stabbed multiple times. It's not like, oh, I might take a shot. If somebody attacks you with a knife and you lean into it to try to defend yourself, you are going to get stabbed. That's a fact, and that like goes to your point. You run from a knife, you go in with a gun. That's what happened in California. I believe that dude in the Taiwanese church was tackled by the congregants. Like the parishioners just jumped on him because he had 2 pistols. So it was like, I guess, easy to disarm him, but he had already taken out like half a dozen people at that point. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure how many people were injured but I know that's how it ended. Because there's pictures of like 2 dudes with their knees, and they're on top of him, and he's on the ground with his, hands like sort of splayed out.
Let's see the deaths. 1 person killed, 4 others critically wounded.
That's California?
Critically wounded is you're gonna die, isn't it?
No, you're 50-50. When they say critical, that means like you're in ICU, you may have lost a lot of blood, you may have massive injuries or trauma, or a lot of trauma. That's what
4 critical, 1 dead, and 1 hurt.
Injured. I mean, listen, it's such opportunistic fucking psycho bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their fucking reasoning. Subway shooter has his reasons, and there was what baffles me. There's a massive internet trail. Like, I think this guy in fucking Buffalo was on Reddit. You know what I mean? He was like some sort of like into like white supremacy and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they need to stop ignoring red flags. Stop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of red flags. This is what I think. I think a lot of people are getting like fucking shadow banned and fucking and like sort of shut down on the internet that don't really need that kind of attention. Like, a lot of energy is being wasted on like shutting down people for just stupid shit like their opinion, right? But you get people like this. The red flags are all there. They're all talking about committing acts of violence blatantly, and not like in the days leading up, but the months and the years leading up to this shit.
Even though
I'm sure the church shooter had his thing. The guy in the fucking on 36th Street, the 36th Street platform, and on the subway had his fucking internet fucking trail of his shit. This kid in Buffalo had it, and all these kids have it. All these kids have like all this shit, and like the kid down here at MSD at the high school, he was already like on. They knew that he was like this before it even happened. So I feel like there needs to be a little bit more action on stopping this from even going forward, and not having it just be solely a gun issue because this is what they choose to use.
Not.
Because it's not. They'll use something else to harm
exactly.
people. Like, they're determined to hurt people. They're going to use whatever. And it's easy. With the firearm, it's easy because of maybe the accessibility. Even illegally, it's easy to access. So changing rules, implementing laws and stuff like that, making it so that your average citizen can't be strapped to protect themselves, sometimes it's counterproductive. You know what I mean? In this case, this kid already got illegal, like extended mags in his state. So, you know what I mean?
Call me crazy, but I think some of the problems lies within the gun laws.
Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
once again, one person was armed and they shot him, but it didn't work, by the way.
Because he had body armor on,
Yes.
correct? Yes.
But shoot him in the fucking head next time. Anyway.
That's what I'm saying. With proper training, dude, that's why you train. And the thing is, it's like any other exercise. You have to go to the, you know what I mean, to the gun range. You have to every so often to keep your skill level up. Because if you're just like,
every adult, once you turn 20, you should learn how to shoot. You should learn how to do it properly.
Yeah, but then, you know what, like, then when you're thrown into a situation like that, how would you react, and how your average citizen would react? That also goes to you. Like, look at it this way. I don't think everything is not for everybody, right? Some things aren't for you, some things aren't for me. I don't think every person walking out there should be strapped, because obviously mental health has a lot to do with it. That's why they give you a background check when you buy a firearm, and they make sure that you don't have these red flags like you're schizophrenic or you're certified or you've been guilty of a felony violent crime.
Yeah, but he bought a gun legally, didn't he? He bought it legally, so that whole system failed.
This is the thing with the young school shooters, these incel fucking white boys, right? Number one, I think a lot of them could be prevented if they just, if somebody just donated a piece to them. You know what I mean? I guarantee if any of these kids got their dick wet, like the day before they were planning on shooting people, they're not shooting anybody. They ain't shooting nobody. I mean, that's where the problem is. The problem is that these kids, right? They're incels. Nobody's fucking them, so they're like, I hate everybody, and then they go on to shoot. I feel like the firearm is secondary to the actual motivation. Because there are plenty of kids who are brought up, who were taught how to hunt, who were taught how to handle a firearm safely and properly, who was part of their family culture, who don't grow up to be fucking mass shooters. The vast majority, it's like you take that small percent of these people who handle firearms, such a fucking minuscule amount of them actually fire their weapon on human beings. I mean, aside from anybody who served in the military. You know what I mean? It's very rare that happens. You know what I mean? It happens often because it's reported all the time, because it's something you can't hide. You can't hide gunshots now. There are actual sensors out there in Neighborhood Watch. There are, like, we'll get, like, an app. We have an app that'll give us updates on what's going on in our neighborhood, and it'll be like, this person, car accident at this intersection, or like they'll tell you, like somebody was caught DUI. You know what I mean? And they'll tell you like crimes that are happening in the area. This house is broken into. So shots fired, there are sensors out there that could sense gunshots before anybody even calls into 911. And we'll get notifications on our phones with that shit.
You ready for this, by the way? Law enforcement officials told CNN on Tuesday there appear to be no red flags that would have prevented the 18-year-old from obtaining the 3 guns he had.
Okay, all right. Him obtaining the guns. No, I'm saying red flags as far as committing acts of violence.
No, I know. I'm saying
because
the
whatever
his
political whatever his ideals or his the whatever dogma he's associated with. It was all over, like social media, and let's just say if he had butcher knives, right? and he didn't have access to guns, he was still committed to using butcher knives to hurt people. You understand what I'm saying?
Homemade
Those red
bombs,
flags.
anything.
You go to a store. If I go to a store, if I go to Office Max right now to get air duster, is there a paper trail that the lady at the cashier is going to see just to prevent me from buying that because she thinks, or she has evidence that I'm an addict of some sort? No. She's not going to know. She's just going to sell me the air duster, and then I'm going to go and get high, right? There's nothing that's going to come up on an 18-year-old's record who has no violent crimes on his record, and you're too young to have anything stamped mental health. You know, he's still like too young to fully manifest schizophrenia even, you know? So who's to say that he's not just, you know, your average Joe 18-year-old, you know, who is ready to responsibly own a firearm? There's nothing for you to tell. But the thing is, there's nothing to stop him from owning a weapon. But there's nothing stopping him from just committing acts of violence onto people. What if he went and just like drove a car into a group of people? What if he saw a group of 10 black people at a bus stop, and he took his fucking, I'm being racist by presuming that this 18-year-old white kid is driving a pickup truck, but drive his Toyota Tacoma into like a group of black people. He could still kill 10 people the way he intended to, you know what I mean, with whatever apparatus he chose. And the thing is, like, if you decide to take, let's just say we take guns out of the equation, his intent, right, is still there. But you're preventing that guy in the store from carrying a weapon that could have stopped him, right, had he had not had the body armor. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if? Like, what if? You could say what if until the sun comes up, but the thing is, like...
you can, but it doesn't change anything,
the act
unfortunately.
is done. The act is done, and I think this is definitely a serious mental health problem. You know, as far as, like, okay, we already see it deteriorating on airplanes, so everybody's, like, flipping out because of the masks on airplanes, and now that's going away because now you don't have to wear a mask.
I forgot about that, by the way. Hey. The SUV that killed a bunch of people at the parade, wasn't that Manhattan?
No, I think that was
Where
Milwaukee.
Was it?
That was in Wisconsin, yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, like, with the intent, that's exactly my point. My point is that he drove over those people. Yeah, it was in Wisconsin. He drove over those people at that parade exactly with what he intended to use to hurt people. So he didn't have to shoot. If you gave him a gun, he might have just shot at those people at the parade. You're right. Like,
he killed 5 people.
Yeah, but he drove over them, and it could easily happen with that. You know, like.
Yeah. So why are we not banning cars? We need to ban cars immediately.
There's a problem with domestic terrorism, and what I mean by that is you have sovereign individuals who are just all on their own for their own personal reasons, committing these acts. Like, there's not a governing body that's telling this white supremacist kid to go and shoot elderly, you know, black folk in a parking lot. There's nobody telling him to do that. He's making that decision on his own. There's nobody telling this dude going into the Taiwanese church to do that. He's making that decision on his own to barricade the doors and to shoot those people in the church. The shooting in Texas was also somebody's choice. The subway shooter, he wasn't indoctrinated into a group of people. He made that choice on his own. These are individuals who are committing these terroristic acts. You know what I mean? And you could even go back to, like, Columbine. Like, yeah, okay, these 2 kids found camaraderie, but it was just them. They were 2 assailants. They were both of them were alone. They weren't part of, like, a greater group of people. But there's still a way to mitigate this terrorism. You know what I mean? Nowadays, there are resources that we didn't have back in 1999 when these kids shot up Columbine. You know what I mean? And now at least we're fucking catching people. Like this kid in Parkland, he's right now, they're trying to decide whether or not he gets the death penalty or whether or not he does life in prison.
Death penalty all the way.
This kid in Buffalo got caught. At least, you know, like, but what does it do? What does it do? Like,
hey, Beth.
What's going on, Beth? So what does it do, though? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like, I heard somebody's argument today. What difference does it make putting this guy on trial in Buffalo when it was live streamed. It's like caught red-handed. It's like already you should already be at sentencing.
Well, it doesn't matter. There's the reason
resources?
why.
Well, why waste resources?
There's the reason why due process, not diligence, bro.
Yeah, due process.
The Constitution matters no matter what. You have a right to a fair trial and to be judged amongst your peers, which he's going to be judged. Then when he's in jail, I hope he's judged real hard.
I hear they knock you down and they just spit in your asshole to humiliate you, and they don't even really fuck you. Like maybe somebody fucks you, but I hear like the whole group to humiliate you. They knock you out so that you're knocked out cold, and then they'll lay you naked on the ground and they'll hold your asshole open, and individually they'll hock loogies into your asshole one after another.
Hold on.
To humiliate you.
Hold on.
Maybe one of them will fuck you, but they'll all do that.
So that's all that happens?
Hey, do you want to get fucking knocked out and get your asshole stabbed?
No, but I don't want the alternative to happen. If that happened, it's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Oh, if you had a choice, yeah, I know. If you had a choice, I'd rather get my asshole finished.
Imagine.
Nobody wants that. But this is every day. Every day this kid is going to get his asshole smacked. This is the thing.
Imagine,
he's outnumbered now. This kid's going to prison in upstate New York. He is fucking outnumbered.
Imagine.
He better start sucking. What's that guy's name?
It's not going to matter.
Schlesinger from Oz, the white supremacist guy. You remember?
Oh, what's his name? Yeah,
he used to trick the new white guys into being his bitch.
Yeah. But like, I don't even know where to go after that.
Wow. Well, anyway, I hope that happens.
But you know what's going to piss me off? They're going to put the
kill him. I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay my tax dollars to pay to keep him alive.
Well, don't kill him though. That's wrong. You let.
I don't want to pay for him to suffer.
Well, you tie him to a tree, and you let the relatives have their way.
But that's not the part of our due process, Mike. Remember what you were just talking about?
But you try him. He's found guilty, and instead of guilty, get the death penalty.
Make that a punishment.
But the death penalty is that.
What if we brought back outlandish punishments like they had in the Dark Ages?
Stoning. There's still stoning in the world.
Well, what about crushing? They used to have slow crushing, where they would literally slowly crush you between boulders.
Tie his arms to one truck and his legs to another truck, and you.
Well, they would do it with the horses, right? They draw and quarter you.
Yeah.
Like a chicken. I mean, you'd be dead. That's the thing. They'd eventually kill you. They would drown you and slowly drown you. They would do things like that.
You take a metal tin, a big one, and you put rats in it, and you put it on his stomach, and you put a blowtorch on the other end.
Yeah, to heat up, they have to eat their way out.
They'll eat their way out.
There's a diagram of that on the internet from the Dark Ages. And it was a metal pot they would put over you, like a kettle. How did this turn out until fucking the intro to a Wu-Tang song? Like, how the fuck did that happen?
I don't know. That's hilarious. But I'm glad we moved
on. I'm
going
to sew your asshole closed and keep feeding you and feeding you and
Is that what the Iron Maiden is?
You. No, the Iron Maiden was the helmet that had.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It was like a thing that obstructed you from speaking. I believe that if I were to be punished, that's what they would want to put on me.
Let's see. Oh,
put him in the Iron Maiden.
It's the thing that killed the Toad in the 5 Deadly Venoms. Do you remember the 5 Deadly Venoms?
The Kung Fu movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Toad.
Wait, that's not okay. The Iron Maiden isn't like this enclosed mask that has spikes in it, so you can't.
Full body thing with spikes. Full body thing.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
I'll show you.
Yes. The full.
Here you go.
But there is a head part with eyes, so you can see the eyes in pain or something like that, right? Put them in the Iron Maiden. You remember that, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yes.
And they're like, Iron Maiden.
Did you see the new one? It was terrible.
No, it sort of got like not spoiled because I sort of forgot the spoiler, but somebody semi-spoiled it for me. I believe it was our friend Lou, and I was like, maybe I won't watch it. I'll wait till it streams, and I still haven't gotten to it. Yes, okay. So there is a mess. That's a part of the apparatus.
Yes, the full body and head.
Yeah, I mean, I think they should bring back like certain kinds of punishment like that don't kill you, because this is the problem that I have with the penal system, right?
We kill them too quickly?
No, some people get comfortable and they actually prefer to be in prison, so they'll commit crimes just to go back, right? But if you're like red-handed, and I mean like there's only physical evidence and video evidence of you committing a crime like this kid. I'm cool with him not being killed, and obviously he's being tried in New York, so he's not going to be killed. But as an alternative, that he would have to get his feet branded by a hot plate once a week. But so that he heals back up again, but then he has to, again, step on a hot plate and sear his feet, so he cannot walk. You know what I mean? He's constantly bandaged up.
Hi, Bacon.
You know, like some sort of thing, so he just, you know.
Hope you're good, bro. I saw some shit going down on Facebook.
So,
man-sized
you know what I mean?
mummy muffins. Say that 5 times fast.
Man-sized mummy muffin. Only 69. Yeah, man. Fucking, I don't know. Like, I'm just like, you know, this is just like, it's getting like fucking crazier and crazier. It's like, it is, I mean, maybe it is like the media, like John was saying, like, you know, like they sort of like, you know, like maybe this does happen more often. You may not hear about it, but I feel like we're hearing about it more often. Maybe because it is happening more often. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know, like that could be the. I mean, but I feel like, you know, like now we're starting to see the long-term effects of COVID. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
but this has been going on for years.
Yes, but I feel like the frequency has gone up, and this is because people are getting out. The crazies are unleashed. Now it's like you've locked up enough schizos enough so that now they're just like raw. You get like wild crazy people.
Yeah, but these guys, they're not even schizos. They're just psychopaths. It's
some sort of mental illness, though. I mean, it's their responsibility. They're responsible for themselves. I'm not dismissing them, but it's not. It's a malady. This is a malady of society. This is not a good thing. Something is wrong, and that's what I mean by illness. I don't mean like they need to be medicated. I mean like they are fucking like a product of, you know, some sort of something that is ill with society. And it's it's mentally with them is what's motivating. So that's what I mean by mental.
Cheers, everybody.
It's not exactly Whiskey Wednesday, but it's Thirsty Thursday. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm like, is it sick for me to be like, well, what's next? Like,
no, it's not. It's a good question. I mean, nuclear war.
Listen, let's not play the one-up fucking game with this shit.
I'm just saying.
Because the thing is, like, I feel like
this shit with Russia is still not good.
Our media covers a vast majority of shit that
like,
we broadcast it all out to the ether. Our media is definitely received in these other nations that
pretty
dislike
high.
us.
Yes. Not that high yet. No, he asked.
You got to cough to get off, though.
Like, this guy wanted to kill people. Why couldn't he just volunteer in Ukraine?
No, what I'm saying, like Suicide Squad? Like, let's
no, volunteer in Ukraine. You want to kill people? Go volunteer. Fight a war.
No, what I'm saying is Suicide Squad. You get a whole bunch of these fucking, like, psychos who want to kill people here in the States. You just rally them all up and be like, you want to kill people, and just drop them in behind enemy lines in Russian territory and just be like, go.
Yeah, but then they'll join the Russians and come kill us.
This is the thing. Since, and I mean, like, maybe you could have like an opinion on this because you used to work for the TSA, right? Let's just say, like, you did like banish, right? You banished like these, you know, you banished these criminals or whatever, or these people who commit these horrendous crimes, right? And then you give them weapons, and then you drop them, like, behind enemy lines. Like, you know, like sort of like, you know, like some sort of Suicide Squad covert operation. And you gave them the choice. You want to kill people, you go and kill Russians. And then they don't, and they side with them, let's just say. They're going to kill us. How are they getting back into this country, you know what I mean, if we had all that shit implemented to keep people out of the country? I know we still have people infiltrating, but I'm just saying, like, how would they get back?
We inject them with a poison, and the poison allows them to live for 72 hours. And we dropped them off in the danger zone to save the president's daughter, whose plane just so happened to crash land in Russia.
Wasn't this a plot of a movie?
It's Escape from New York or Escape from L.A. I forgot which one.
Okay. Escape from L.A. was the second one. That's the one with the president's daughter. Yeah.
Snake Plissken.
Snake Plissken. I fucking love them. I hope they don't remake that. I hope they just keep that because it's John Carpenter classic.
Yeah, they better
The original Escape from New York was a classic John Carpenter.
Pam Grier, right? It's Pam Grier
and fucking Kurt Russell. Snake Plissken, bro. Badass. That's when heroes were super fucking badass.
Look, I said this to someone because we were talking about...
He had an eye patch before Nick Fury. Well, Nick Fury was around before that, but before the Hollywood...
I had a conversation at work, and it was about cult classics and like, who's the ultimate cult classic actor. And I said, Kurt Russell. And they're like, no, but he's been in big movies. Escape from New York, Escape from L.A., Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing... there was something else. There's a shitload of like cult classics. Death Proof.
Captain Ron.
Captain Ron. Oh my god, it's such a great movie.
What was the one? Okay, that's Goldie Hawn, right? There's another one. I think there's another movie he does with Goldie Hawn also.
What is it?
Where... Oh no! I'm thinking about Mel Gibson and like Bird on a Wire. Do you remember Bird on a Wire? Mel Gibson and Goldie Hawn.
I don't. He's
all right, but Kurt Russell did a lot. He was also a child actor too.
He was I didn't know he was in Inglourious Bastards. Is he? I don't remember him. Oh, probably has a cameo.
There's a lot of people who were one in one out.
Right.
Like Mike Myers was that British general.
Randomly, that was random.
Yeah, and he was only in that one scene with Michael Fassbender.
Let's see. Jesus, okay. He started out in TV.
He was a child actor, wasn't he? Didn't he start out young?
Of the McPhees, 64. The man from Gilligan's Island. He was the Jungle Boy in 1965. He was in this TV show Lost in Space. He was in the TV show.
Those are pretty important fucking shows. But that's like, that's the equivalent of like, I was an extra in Law and Order on 4 episodes.
Yeah,
he did a lot of TV. A hooker. Yeah.
He did the voice in a TV movie called Dad, Can I Borrow the Car?
Like you get a lot of famous actors who are like, yeah, I was dead hooker number 2 in episode 16, season 4. Yeah, on Law and Order. Or yeah, I was heroin addict number 4 in season 6, episode 13. They're famous actors now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Paul Rudd was like a high school kid who murdered somebody or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm just making that up, but he was some shit like that.
He was in one episode of the original Hawaii Five-0. Escape from New York was his first big movie break.
Wow.
Escape from New York.
That was. And John Carpenter I don't think it was maybe it was sort of indie. He was sort of indie back then. It was sort of low budget, like not like super dirt cheap, like B movie low budget, but he didn't have like major motion picture budget for that movie. And he still made it awesome.
Are you ready for this? He was the voice of Copper in The Fox and the Hound.
I think I knew that.
I didn't know that.
The cartoon, yes. Right? Yeah.
Then he did The Thing.
That's sci-fi, more like monster movie.
Then he did Silkwood. I'd never heard of it. Swing Shift. A couple of years later, he did Big Trouble in Little China.
Which that was big, even at the time. I remember being a kid, and that was like, I remember it being rented. I don't remember watching it until junior high school. But I remember it being rented and in the house.
Tango and Cash
with Sylvester Stallone. That's right. That's a buddy cop movie, right?
Another great movie. I forgot about that movie. Backdraft. Backdraft was a good movie.
With a Baldwin. There's a Baldwin in that movie, right?
Yep.
And there's not Woody Harrelson. Is it Woody Harrelson or no? No.
Hold on. What's his
name? There's a Baldwin.
Is it Woody Harrelson?
Whoever was young at the time.
That used to be one of my favorite movies.
Kurt Russell, Alec Baldwin. Was it Alec Baldwin? Or Daniel Baldwin? Or Stephen Baldwin?
It's Kurt Russell, William Baldwin,
but Billy Baldwin. Okay.
Scott Glenn. You don't know who Scott Glenn is?
An Irish actor, I think.
Yeah. He's in the Hunt for Red October. Bunch
Yeah,
of things.
Tom Clancy. Yeah. Who else was in Backdraft? Wasn't there a young person?
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro was in Backdraft?
Yes, I think he's the chief.
I haven't seen that movie in probably 20 years, probably.
Donald
I just
Sutherland.
watched recently twice because it came on 2 days in a row. I watched Heat with
Heat
Pacino.
is a great movie.
Fucking awesome. And as far as like, okay, not to make light of this whole gun violence situation.
That gun scene.
As far as shootouts go, most gun experts and firearms experts say that that's like the best shootout scene as far as accuracy in any movie. Next to like the shootout at the OK Corral. Speaking about Kurt Russell in Tombstone. Another great Kurt Russell movie.
Everyone was great in Tombstone.
Yeah.
Everyone was great in Tombstone.
Speaking about Heat, Val Kilmer in
Tombstone. No, Val Kilmer, listen, his biggest mistake was playing Batman.
Yeah, that sort of turned right for him. Like after that, things got a little weak.
And then he got cancer and it fucked him up, man.
I watched the doc. Did you watch the doc?
No, about...
Yeah, he's got the tracheotomy and everything. But this is the thing, like, it made me feel good at the end of it. Because he's painting now. Like he sells his painting for like mad money. So is George W. Bush. He's like a fucking...
Oh, I forgot.
Like
he was amazing in The Doors.
Oh, Jim Morrison, The Doors. Dude, that movie was awesome. That was Oliver Stone did that movie too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a sick movie. Val Kilmer was great. Val Kilmer was a fucking... And for that time, it's like a time capsule. Like now, okay, the Maverick movie's coming out, right? So you have, Tom Cruise reprising his role, right? But I think they have Val Kilmer making a cameo, but not in a speaking part. Like I think there's like a picture of him, but that's because he's not acting anymore. I don't think.
I think there's a cameo. I think he quit acting, but I mean,
in a way, it's like, all right, cool. Like Tom Cruise is still doing it, and he still looks relatively young because he's sucking on that baby blood at the Church of Scientology. Don't come after me. I'm just kidding.
Wasn't
They're jokes.
Batman didn't ruin his career because he did Batman, then he did Heat.
Yeah, that might have been 2 years after too, right? 98 was Heat.
95. They both were 95.
Oh, okay. So they were filmed the same year. Yeah, Heat was.
Then he did The Island. Okay, there was a bunch of movies.
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
There was a bunch of movies that.
Right, that was a bomb. I think that was Marlon Brando, and that movie bombed. And I think Brad Pitt was in that movie too.
I think it has a cult following now.
The original did, and I know that there was a book, right? That came originally adapted from a short story.
Then he did The Saint, which was
not high praise, but I heard that was all right. I remember watching The Saint.
I've watched it. I just don't remember. It didn't stand out.
Yeah.
And then from there
it's like a priest assassin or some shit like that.
Downfall of shitty movies.
Yeah.
Mindhunters was not good.
He was in Willow. Willow was
that's old though, but yeah.
An underrated George Lucas classic.
I liked Willow.
A lot of people hated it though. It got like a lot of bad reviews back in the day. I liked it. I still like it. I rewatched it recently.
You know who was a good actor who completely disappeared? Billy Zane.
Yeah, Billy Zane. Billy Zane was like the background actor. He's the sixth man. He gets the sixth man award. Billy Zane was in Back to the Future.
He was?
Part 2, yeah.
Who? Really?
He was Biff's thug. He was one of Biff's thug friends. He was in Back to the Future 1 and 2. He played Biff Tannen's like one of his like homies. He was the dude in Titanic, the douchebag boyfriend. He was Rose's douchebag boyfriend.
You know what I think his best performance was?
The Mummy? Was he in The Mummy?
Yeah, but I don't think it was best.
Oh, okay. Well, what?
Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Oh,
he's the bad guy, and that whole movie has Has the I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
That was good. See, that's a sleeper. A lot of people forget about that movie. I actually like the guy who plays the protagonist in that. He's the bad guy in Die Hard 2. You ever see Die Hard 2?
I've seen all the Die Hards. I'm trying to think.
With the paramilitary guys who were like, they splintered off from the army. They tried to take over a ship, and they had
I
like
remember.
They had like this Central American dictator.
Yes,
he was the white guy.
He's a good actor, and in Demon Knight, Jada Pinkett Smith.
He was good.
Jada Pinkett Smith.
I think that's her first big movie role. I think was Demon Knight.
Was that before or after?
I think Tupac was still alive when Demon Knight came out.
Yeah, I'm gonna put something on because this.
Pantera was on the Demon Knight soundtrack, and so was. They had a pretty good soundtrack, I believe.
Well, I'm about to show you something. In my opinion, Demon Knight has one of the best opening scenes in a movie, like opening thing of a movie.
I call this one Demon.
You can hear it, right?
Oh yeah.
The song, man.
Oh, Filter. Billy Zane.
And the cut with the song and the scene.
William Sadler, that's his name.
Mm-hmm. Such a good movie. If you
this
guys
guy
haven't seen this out there, you should see this movie.
Jada Pinkett. I mean, listen, even though Jada Pinkett is a sorceress, she was really good in this movie.
She was.
Even though she has has Will Smith hostage.
His entire really manhood hostage. But just too strong.
I mean, when is Will Smith going to turn into a mass shooter? Really, honestly. Too far? Did I go too far?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Such a great intro to a movie. Just simple. Just
song, it said. Billy Zane was losing his hair at this point, I believe.
He's bald in this movie, but yeah.
Do you remember from the 80s that movie Creepshow?
Of course, I loved it. I've seen 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. And there was also another Tales from the Crypt movie also.
Bordello of Blood?
Bordello of Blood with the vampires. That one was awesome. That one's Christian Slater, I believe, right?
No, Dennis Miller.
Dennis Miller?
Yeah.
No, but isn't Christian Slater in Bordello of Blood? I feel like there's another sort of maybe at the end of their
Corey
stage.
Feldman. Corey Feldman's in it.
Dennis Miller. Corey Feldman.
Yeah, you don't remember this movie?
I do.
It's
remember
Demon
there
Knight
being...
2. The problem was they waited too long to make this, and they didn't have the actors.
From a secret grave.
So cheesy. Demon Knight was not cheesy, but it was.
Not as good. Not as.
I just.
You know what? You know what was the best out of the cheesy horror movies was
I like Heathers too.
Yeah, that was good, but that was more of a fuck my life kind of movie.
Yeah.
You know
what movie
I mean?
are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of Robert Rodriguez from Dusk Till Dawn.
Oh, it was a great movie.
It's the best one out of all of these.
Written by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
And it was made because they were on tour together with their movies. And he was already shooting or just finished shooting Desperado.
Desperado, yeah.
And he was like, all right, let's make this movie.
Yeah.
That's
Johnny Depp, he, speaking of about horror movies and stuff and campy, he was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
But he also did, speaking about Desperado, Once Upon a Time in Mexico. With Robert Rodriguez also.
I don't hate that movie. It just wasn't as good as Desperado.
No, Desperado was the best one out of
Yeah.
all of them, out of the trilogy,
It's
the
such
Mariachi
a-
trilogy.
It's such a like Hollywood action blockbuster, and like that's what
The
he was
origi-
good at. That's what he was
The
good
original Mariachi is a fucking good movie too.
at. El Mariachi, very
El
good movie.
Mariachi, yeah. Yeah, I watched that OG dubbed, like in. It was probably like I watched Desperado first, like around the time it came out. Might have been like in the mid '90s, around like '97 or '96. I watched Desperado, right? And then I saw El Mariachi in like maybe '99 dubbed, and it came on like Showtime or HBO like super late, and I watched it by accident. And I knew that the movie existed, but it was hard to rent back then on VHS. Like nobody had it on VHS because it was sort of like a cult classic.
I watched it on VHS. No.
As you did back then.
I saw it before Desperado, so it was early on.
All right.
My
So you
dad,
watched it in order.
My
You
father
watched- so you
knew
watched
about
in
it.
order.
My
Yeah.
father knew about it. So my father was all into cult movies and all that. So I've seen a lot of like really weird movies. So I watched El Mariachi first. Then I watched Desperado, and I don't think I put two and two together until I was older because I was not that old at the time. I don't think. And like speaking of old movies, my father let me watch Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Did you ever see that one?
I don't think I ever saw that.
Have you even heard of it?
No. Is it like Blood Sucking Freaks? You ever watch that?
No. This
That is the epitome of B horror movie. It is probably the most infamous B horror movie of all time.
This movie is pretty freaking B horror movie.
So this is similar. Yeah, you see how it's grainy and cheesy?
Well, I mean, it was made in the, where was the year? 70s, I think?
Yes. Look up Blood Sucking Freaks.
72.
This is exactly like that. Blood Sucking Freaks is exactly like that. But there are midgets running around in this movie who actually, at one point, a midget is sucking the brains out of somebody's head through a straw.
That's kind of epic.
This is exactly in that same genre as Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. As you can see, you know.
I am
Sadly.
master of the theater of the macabre.
For the horror, prepare yourself for the terror.
See, midgets and
Prepare
vice versa.
yourself for the ultimate blood-curdling experience.
Blood-sucking freaks!
I wonder if the algorithm is going to pick up that booby.
We just showed nudity. Yay.
I think there's already nudity on YouTube, though. You ready for this?
Shoot. Yeah, but it's like bush nudity, though, right? I don't mean bush. I mean like in the bush, like, you know, like.
I mean,
like,
look right here.
Indigenous people nudity.
Look right here.
Is that an anus?
It looks like it. I wonder if YouTube will kick us off for showing their own videos.
You know, I've heard of stuff like that happening. Are we getting ready to
Very
get
first
canceled?
naked yoga class as a participant.
See?
Space and yoga like
Naked
I
yoga?
think is great.
Naked people. Look,
We've got
there's balls hanging
pretty
right there.
strong fat phobia. We have
fuck is
a lot
this?
of disgust.
This is
I think
YouTube.
collectively about certain kinds of body
Wait,
phobia.
wait, what did you say about fat phobia?
We've got a pretty strong fat phobia. We have a
Wait, yo, Jimmy,
What?
Yo, Mike, stop it for a second. Now I want you to look to the left side of the screen and rewind that again. There is one individual with their panties on. So it's obvious
sexual
who has their
orientations, a
period.
lot of different
Where?
It's obvious who has their period.
ages, which I think is great.
Where?
To the
We've
Oh,
got-
right there. Right there. Yep.
A pretty strong
Can't
fat
skip yoga when you got your
But-
period though.
Do you hear what she said? We have a pretty strong fat phobia. They're afraid of
We've
fat
got
people?
a pretty strong fat phobia. We have a lot of disgust, I think, collectively about certain kinds of bodies. But the goal is,
What?
No, she means in society. Like society has fat phobia. That's what she said at the beginning. I
over
believe.
time, you see your body
Wow. Yummy.
Yo, this is my problem with that. You know what my problem with that is? There is no barrier between you and somebody blowing ass in your direction.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
There's no filter. You know what? Honestly, you should have at yoga, because I know that they have like these yoga classes where they tell you, let it all out.
Yeah.
See your
Let it
wrinkles.
all out. You know that you want at least somebody to have a decent pair of underwear on and another pair of clothing on top of that.
Have you ever done yoga?
I've like done YouTube yoga, like and like Pilates.
Have you ever
Pilates,
done yoga
for,
in a
like,
class?
No, never
Okay.
in a class. No. Only in my garage.
It's first off, it's hot as fuck.
Well, I know about hot yoga. I know top my
No,
garage too.
even when it's not hot yoga, it's fucking hot as fuck.
Okay.
And I just remember.
Body smell.
Well, yeah, it's not pleasant. Yeah, it's not pleasant. Oh, fuck.
A lot of swampy asses. You get a lot of ass cracks, sweat stains. You know what I mean? I know. Like I've done that. Like in my garage. My garage gets dumb hot. You know, even with the fan on, Florida summer, it could easily be like 95 to 100 degrees in my garage, right? And that's where all my workout equipment is. That's where my heavy bag is. That's where I have all my carpets splayed out. I have all my my fucking kettlebells and everything are there. So it's like that. I have no choice but to sweat. Also, which
FYI,
you want to. I don't want to
can't
have
say-
the air conditioner going.
You can't say dumbbells anymore because they're not dumb. That's insulting.
They're smart bells. They're
smart bells.
They're smart bells. But I have the kettlebells and everything in there, so I like it's good. I feel like I want to switch because I don't want to fucking seize up and be cold or whatever. But either way, I'm there by myself. Now I'm aware of my presence. Now I sweat a lot. I have that ass crack stain and the chest stain and the armpit stain, and I'm, make no mistake, I'm blowing ass the whole time while I'm doing these YouTube fucking Pilates poses, right? Because my old ass gets back spasms and I need to stretch my legs because I get leg fucking cramps, all that shit. So while I'm doing this, and I usually do post-workout and stuff, just me, myself, there's a must. So if you're in one of these fucking rooms, right? Hot yoga, naked. Everybody, and now you get these, and listen, each their own, but women are growing armpit hair now and stuff like that.
Oh, I saw that at yoga. I saw that at
growing
yoga.
full bushes. So now you got dudes full bush, women's full bush. Everybody's got their hair sweating. You're hot yoga naked, and then somebody blows a wet fart, and you hear, like one of those high pitched, wet ass cheek farts. You know what I mean? Because people are blowing ass in naked yoga.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's talking about that. That's not in the
man.
fucking video, Mike.
Yeah, man.
Nobody's
Yoga
talking
is
about that.
fun and easy. Start slowly. I wouldn't call that fun and easy. Okay, listen. Yoga is not fun and easy. It's
Should be challenging to a point.
no.
You gotta push limits.
I'm more worried about the word fun, not the easy part.
It's not easy. Some of those poses are fucking hard to hold and maintain. It's like even planking, dude. It's like I just to mitigate back pain. Just for that reason, that's why I plank. I don't do it just to have I want to have abs because I'm never gonna have abs. I do it just to strengthen my core. But just doing a fucking plank pose and holding it for more than a minute becomes a task. Holding those yoga poses and those Pilates poses is the same, dude. It becomes a workout. That's why you sweat from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's not easy downward dogging it. Anyway, it's been nice shooting the shit with you.
Yep.
We've been talking a lot about shooters and shooting.
Yeah, shooting. Well, that's the name of the episode, Shooting the Shit. There we go.
Shooting the shit.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Hey, listen, and also just FYI for the people out there, when people ask me what are my political leanings, are you red-pilled or blue-pilled, I tell people I'm candy flipping. I take all the pills. So I'm not opposed to people's opinions of whether or not you're anti-gun or pro-gun or whatever. But, just try to keep an open mind and just try to see it from different angles. And hopefully as a society, we can come up with some sort of like a solution that's not a red button emergency, solution, or presumably an emergency solution to something that's a greater problem. Because, these guys, if you take their guns away from them, a psycho's going to make some sort of homemade detergent bomb or some shit. You know what I mean? People will find a way to illegally buy firearms. Gangs do it all the time. Now you see, if somebody put their ankles behind their head and naked blew a fart out into the class, you know what I mean? Like,
wow.
then what?
Yeah.
Then what? And you know what people were eating in the 1950s? Pot roast. And blasted pot roast farts and potato farts all over the fucking place.
On that note, thank you for watching the Dumbfounded Dipshits. Wow. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you're on our Nothing Network channel, you have to go to the previous podcast, and we have a link up. Where the hell's the link? I should post the link right now before I go bye-bye.
Yeah, and also, wait, real quick before we go, because we're at the hour mark, Dipshit of the Week. Who's Dipshit of the Week?
We're the Dipshit of the Week.
We're the Dipshit of the Week. I mean, aside from, obviously, the fucking mass shooter Dipshit of the Week.
Well, yeah, they're
I don't
the
want to
dipshit.
give him credit for anything, so fuck
They're
him.
the Dipshit of the month.
We are the Dipshit of the Week because we came ill prepared for this because we short notice fucking podcasted. But I promise you, this Wednesday, back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Of Dumbfounded Dipshitisms.
Say it all the time, but we never adhere to it. I feel like a liar. Anyway, good night, dipshits.